Mary Elizabeth Micari at the M Center in Brooklyn, New York, in Bay Ridge. We are here on 83rd Street between 5th and 6th Avenue. The address is 508 83rd Street. And this is the studio behind me. To my left is some of the work I do in spellcraft work and things like that. I'm going to turn so you can see. That's my cabinet with some of that stuff there. And behind me we have, of course, parts and things for music, as well as a great piano here that we love to work, a good upright that was donated to us by somebody really wonderful. We have a PA system in the back over there you can't see, but I also have, I'll show you now, I'll go slow. There's a barber chair and a PA system. We'll go around the studio again. People come in and they just want to see it, so I'm just going to put it up on the internet so people can see it. And here it is, and nothing more really than a classroom. It's a very small classroom. That's our sandwich board, which is generally outside, but it's raining today, so it's inside. And this is the floor. That's all we got. You know, some music books, some stuff about acupressure, which is something that I use in voice lessons and other things for musicians and for everybody else. Here's our music collection for borrowing, our library that we use all the time. Here we have some more of my aromatherapy and work with herbalism. There are soaps there. There is aromatherapy blends there. There are different incenses and even sage bundles and something I call magic cake mix that is good for money. Here's the cabinet. Whoop, I'm going to switch all the way around. Pardon me. I'm going to go in a circle. Here's the cabinet I was talking about. Inside this cabinet I have very many things, from magical perfumes, oils. We have different varieties of things for magic and aromatherapy, either for pagan work or just for meditation, Buddhist work, Hindu work, any kind of work. We have some candles. I do have tarot cards here. I do teach tarot card reading. I have all this handmade, very lovely incense by yours truly, and I also have samples here for people to use and smell. I will put this back so I can talk to you some more. On the weekends, I teach magic, I teach paganism, I teach tarot, I teach astrology, I teach herbalism, for medicinal herbalism and magical herbalism, sort of a combination class at this point. I do teach aromatherapy, weekends of that. I have Reiki sessions in here also. I have a really lovely massage table, and I can transform this place into a beautiful Reiki studio with just a touch of a flick of a screen and lighting. I have aromatherapy going in here all of the time. So what this is really is a holistic healing place for anybody who finds that they need either a place to relax and release anything, so they can be who they really are. That's, I don't know how else to put it. We teach art here. We teach the theater arts, playwriting, and we teach acting, and we teach movement classes, speech classes, voice classes, and we also put on performances, many performances a year with our playwriting class and with our singers master class. We have the youngest student I have at this time is 9, and the oldest student I have at this time I think is 65. And there's all different ethnicities in here and types of people. People work together really well here. Many of the people who study music here also study on the weekend. They do come in for tarot class, say for example, or herbalism, so that they can apply that to their singing, or because they want that as a second career, or they maybe are considering becoming a massage therapist or a Reiki master themselves, and we work with them that way. I am in the process of being certified as a sound and music healing practitioner, and that will be done in June 2005, and from that point on I'll be offering sound and music healing as well. So, sounds like a lot of things, but to me it's very cohesive, with the music healing being the center of it all. I believe very vehemently that music is healing, that music itself, just listening to music, being surrounded by music or sounds, be it chimes or gongs or just the wind and the sea itself, actually heal us, because we are vibrational beings, and we pick up sound with our bodies, our ears, our bones, and we use those sounds to also communicate. And we use sound, as I'm doing right now, to communicate with you. Some visual, but mostly it's sound. So I believe that music is a more organized version of sound, um, and that when we sing or we use music in chanting or in any kind of meditative work, it actually frees us a lot in a lot of different ways. So I also know that the people in this area, this is Bay Ridge, and I am getting people funneling in from Coney Island, Sheepshead Bay, Mill Basin, also up into Bushwick, and some people from like even as far as like Harlem. I have one or two students that have come in from Harlem and Inwood. So people come, I think, when they know that they want to do something specifically artistically in the theater, and they want to express themselves. And sometimes I'm able to actually really get a person who's even a painter or sculptor to sort of free up the channel of their creativity. I do find that because I am also a singer myself, obviously, and a voice teacher, that I do attract a lot of theatrical people. And working in the professional theater for many, many, many years now, I have come to know that every single person that works in the theater has healing both for themselves to do and for everyone in the audience. We are called, as in my opinion, as priests and priestesses of this art, and we are here to heal. This is a religion to me. Theater is a religion that goes back to the ancient Greeks and even probably further in a less organized fashion. So all the work I do is really centered around that. The reason I do pagan work is because I do try to remember and bring in some of Greek music, Greek ritual, Greek gods, pagan gods from the Celtic and Norse and Northern European regions, as well as the Italian, trying to revitalize the things that started theater, working in ritual that is theater, working in healing ritual. So all the things that I do, which are multitudinous actually, have come from the fact that I'm a performer and needed myself my own healing. Come from a very difficult family background and a middle class family from Brooklyn, New York, and a repressive middle class bourgeois close-minded family from Bensonhurst, actually, where I was not really allowed to express my creativity and such. So I began early in life working with spirit as a very young child, called to a deep religious calling in the Catholic faith, and then from there I explored many different paths, from Buddhism to Judaism to many different paths in the New Age systems, also working with astrology from a very young age, reading tarot from a very young age because of my grandmother and my Italian heritage, and that being part of what the family did. So all of that blending together with my call to singing, which was extremely strong at first for sacred music and classical music, and then opera, and then branching into, of course, musical theater, and now really trying to specialize at this age in jazz and blues and that kind of a thing. As I said before, along my path, I encountered many people in need of healing. I myself was in need of healing, and I myself needed the fortitude and the strength to continue on the path of the performing artist, which is a very difficult path. But I found ways to work with it holistically for myself, and because of other people I was working with that gave me things to work with, like herbalism. As I now have become an herbalist and do teach herbalism, it was because of my initial findings in the operatic world, with people using special teas and inhalants to make sure that their voice was at the optimum that it could be. Also, I work very deeply and have for a long time with Bach flower remedies, including rescue remedy, and things like that that can help to center a person. I work directly with a homeopath and with homeopathy. That's a kind of a medication that you take that's made from herbs but extremely diluted, and energetic medication. So those things have been used both in my performing career, and also now in my teaching work, and in my own, I guess I said, my own performing, and given to me because of my work in the opera field and the musical comedy field. So there is that. All of those things come from those things. They come from my work, my direct work. Things like tarot, things like meditation, things like chanting, things like Reiki also rose from the need within the performing arts that I found for myself and for my coworkers. Reiki itself had been introduced to me through different people who were in witchcraft, the community in New York, and I searched out, to me, the purest form of Reiki training I could find, an intensive Reiki study with somebody named Joanna Crespo. I studied Herbalism with Pika Trinkle. I have been studying aromatherapy with David Crow. I studied also aromatherapy with Susan Weed. I really have driven myself into this work. In 2010, I became extremely ill. I became crippled within a couple of weeks, where I couldn't move hands or feet or stand or move at all. I barely could move or stand. My body was extremely swollen. I couldn't digest. I was very, very sick. So within about 3 to 4 months, I was finally, after searching, through doctors and trying to find an answer as to what was wrong with me in emergency rooms, I was finally told by an emergency room doctor who said to me, you have an autoimmune disease, and I think you have rheumatoid arthritis. So you should find a rheumatologist, which I did, and I was diagnosed. Now, rheumatoid arthritis is not arthritis that's osteoarthritis, that is from wear and tear of the joints. That's a very painful disease, but it's not the disease I have. I do have some osteoarthritis, like everybody. I have some joint damage from that, from dancing and from performing, but very little. Rheumatoid arthritis is a different kind of a disease. The body thinks that the synovial fluid of the body, the joint fluid, the fluid that surrounds the joints, is a foreign body, and it attacks it. So all of my joints, bilaterally on both sides of my body, are deeply affected by this disease. I also have been given medications which were extremely virulent and painful, and I got very sick. My liver was swollen, and also my gallbladder, and then I lost hair. I was given drugs that are used for chemotherapy and other drugs, injectables and things as such. And I then rejected them all and forcefully re-examined and began to study in the past, now is it 5 years, almost 6 years, everything I could get my hands on that had to do with healing. I revitalized my herbal training work. I worked deeply with my aromatherapy. I started looking at Bach flower again, now with this disease in mind. I started using ritual. I started using meditation. I started using sound, and then I went to Reiki. So all of these things were initially for my own research, for myself, but immediately upon studying these things, I knew that I had to share this stuff. Pika Trinkle told me, Mary, you're going to be a community herbalist, so go teach and show people what you know and get it out there, because people need to know about this. And I did, and I do, and that's why I'm here. I opened the studio in the end of 2013, December of 2013, because I had been teaching voice in my home studio in Bay Ridge for a little while, and it got too small, and I thought I needed a bigger classroom, and this is an ideal space, and it's right near the home, and so I moved in here. And because I'm here, I have become quite interestingly associated with many people in this area who are interested in the healing arts and in the pagan and meditative and new age arts that I actually am specializing in. So this has been a lifelong journey. It's not that I picked up herbalism in 2010 and have only been studying now. This has been stuff that I've been doing, again, like it has to be at least since 1995. So it's a good long time of study and work, and I am Wiccan, and I'm proud of that and don't keep that a secret. I don't find that it should be a secret. I have a right to practice this religion, which is a peaceful nature religion. It has to do with the goddess and the god and the earth and the sun and the sky and working with the seasons of nature. And I find that with my herbal work and my aromatherapy work and my flower remedy work and my music and healing work and even my Reiki work, it all just works together. How does this affect the voice? Well, the voice I have in my throat, it was trained to be an operatic voice, and I did have some modicum of success in the New York City area for a while. And then when I got sick, I lost my voice for a while. I still have a husky sound in my voice when I speak, if you can pick that up. It has changed a great deal during the course of this illness. I have rheumatoid arthritis in my larynx, and that is part of the joints and the joint system of the body. So again, using these things, now I am only using homeopathy and herbalism to treat my disease, and I find that I am on the edge of a sort of a remission at this point. It's not getting worse, and things are starting to change, and the flow of energy is changing, and I'm starting to feel like I have hope here. But in the process of being ill, I also began to specialize in ways to sing when you are ill, to sing when you are tired. I had to uncover all the fears I had around my voice and around performing, specifically because I gained quite a bit of weight because of the illness and the medications I was on, and it brought up a lot of insecurities and fears and worries. So I began looking for ways to ritualize it, bring it, heal myself from my past psychological difficulties, open up the channel, so to speak, of my own. And the harder I worked, the more I started to attract people who needed the same work done. I do believe that a teacher only attracts the teachers in disguise as students that they need. So all my students are just a version of sort of what I have going on, or the other teachers here as well. So that's what's been going on. And in the branch out to healing work, I also went to heal my own voice. When they first told me that yes, it's in your larynx, and yeah, you better be careful, you're a singer, it might really affect your voice, I said, okay, you know what, I'm going to sing. And I knew that if I didn't, I'd lose my capacity to move my voice in a fluid way. So at first I had lost a good portion of my upper register and only could really concentrate on my lower register. And so I found music that fit that, and that was all jazz and blues and some rock, but mostly pop and jazz and blues and standards, old standards, old American songbook standards. Just recently, though, I've been able to add arias back into my voice. I'm not able to really stand long enough to sing them with the power I need, but I'm on the way to doing that. I just am starting to coach again. So because of the work in standards and jazz that I did, I began to put together an act, and I'm in the process of working with a lovely pianist on that, and hopefully I have a chance to put together a good cabaret act, and I can sit the whole time if I have to, and make my own schedule and try to work it out that way. I'm not rich, but I'm happy. I think most days I feel that the choice would have been to really just become wheelchair bound or not. That's what I think it is every day. Do I want to give up and get in the chair, or do I want to fight? And I guess I want to fight, because if the thought of giving all these things up, I can't do it. I couldn't give up my students either. I couldn't give it up. So that's why the M Center is here. The M Center is a branch of Genesis Repertory Ensemble, which I am the artistic director of and have been for quite some time. That company was formed in 1999, and we did primarily still do Shakespeare and operatic performances. The mission statement for Genesis Rep, which my partner Jay Michaels and I work together on, is to bring theater to people who haven't seen it or know about it yet. And the M Center's aim is to bring these other forms of art and healing arts, our arts, to people who've never really known them before. That is why we are in Bay Ridge. Bay Ridge is a lovely place, and I love living here, and I think it's a great little town, and it is really kind of behind the times in some ways. And many people walk in the studio here and say, I cannot believe you are in Bay Ridge. I can't believe it. So yes, we're in Bay Ridge, and on 83rd Street. So if you'd like to get in touch with me regarding anything, I will say again, I do herbal consultations, I do aromatherapy consultations, I do Reiki sessions with both aromatherapy and herbal work if needs be. I do spiritual counseling, I do tarot card, including in that, I do astrology readings, I do palmistry, I do different forms of meditation, and now I've begun to start to practice a little bit of sound and music healing, and I suppose that will start to blossom as well. I am also a voice teacher, a trained operatic singer. I sing jazz, blues, pop, and some rock. There is a band here called the M Band, which my students participate in. We have master classes for our students that they get to go on stage in Manhattan at least twice a year, and if not more. We have cabaret singers coming out of here. We have a whole bevy of children who are studying guitar and doing really, really well. We also help people get on the stage, like our playwrights and their friends, in different festivals all through the city. And we also film. We've done films. Genesis Films has done a couple of things and is branching out more into teaching people screenwriting and that kind of work. Jay Michaels handles a lot of that work in the acting class as well, and I'm on the music side. How do we make this happen? Well, it's one classroom, but we just are here as often as we need to be, and we serve as many people as we need to serve. And in between serving people, I am working on my own music and studying and progressing and healing, and I keep going. So, and I hope all my students will keep going, all my clients who come in for healing will keep going. I hope people will come in and visit. It helps to have an appointment if you want to come in and visit. So the telephone number here is 347-492-0534. I am very happy to have anybody come in for a visit, to ask questions, to meet me, talk to me. If I'm here, I will make an appointment to see you. All the sessions I mentioned, including voice lessons and guitar lessons and piano lessons, unless I forget, are also here. Playwright class, these are all by schedule and or appointment. So you need an appointment to come in to sing or act or just have a Reiki session. I also have Reiki circles here. Reiki circles are the second Sunday of most months. We do have a meetup online, on Meetup, and also I'm on Facebook. M Centers on Facebook, and you can friend me on Facebook. It's Mary Elizabeth Micari, Micari, and I always send out my notices on Facebook and Twitter for our Reiki sessions, which are usually Saturday, like I said, the second Sunday of every month, and they're usually 3 to 5. Sometimes it switches, but usually 3 to 5, and it's a lovely 1.5-hour experience where we meditate and get to know each other, and people come from all over to do it, and it's a lovely, beautiful spiritual experience with incense and aromatherapy, as I said, and other Reiki masters do come, and we share people, and we meditate together, and we send Reiki to anyone who needs it in this world, and we also give Reiki to each other. So it's a really lovely, communal, beautiful thing. Also, we have a psychic night at the end of every month, the last Friday of the month. So you can look that up too on the meetup for the M Center Brooklyn, and you can see if you'd like to come down. Readings, which are generally $60 to $80 an hour, are only done, you don't do them like for half an hour for $25 or so. So they're pretty intense readings. It's myself and my very advanced tarot card reading students who are here for you. And so that's also great fun. And again, we use aromatherapy, incense, different kinds of music and sound in the space, and we really try to make it as spiritual and peaceful as possible. We're also available for parties if you wanted to hire us in to your house, just tarot readers or astrology readers or palmists, so we can come in for that. If you need or want healing as far as herbalism, you can come and make a consultation. If you need or want, as I said, a Reiki session, an astrology session, a palmistry session, any of the spirit work we do here, please feel free to come in, but make an appointment first. If you are interested in voice lessons in a holistic, peaceful environment where fears are held and helped through and voices are opened and the career maybe and desire you have as an artist is realized in this lifetime, then come on in. We call this path Performing Arts Training Holistically, and it's really, really works. So that's the whole story about me, my life, and the M Center and Genesis. So that was a lot. Not a long time. If you're interested, I'm thanking you for listening. I'm thanking you for watching the video. And again, 347-492-0534. It's the mcenter.org, THE, like Mary, center.org. Online is information up there. Genesis-repertory, repertory.org is our theatrical website. We're also on Facebook. We're also on Twitter. I'm also on everywhere. You can just look it up, Google Plus, all these different places. 347-492-0534. Email is m like Mary, center, Brooklyn at gmail.com. mcenterbrooklyn@gmail.com. All right. Look forward to speaking to you all again and seeing anybody who's watching this. I hope you come in and get to experience what we do. Many, many blessings, and thank you so much for listening. Come support the M Center. Help it take root. Come and help it grow. Come and be with us. Come and train. Come and teach if you want, if you can, if you have a skill we need. I'd love to speak to you. And thank you. May the God and Goddess bless you.